says more lies ahead in 2026 towards a prosperous, inclusive, modernized and industrialized Zimbabwe where no one and no place is left behind.
To achieve our goals, I call upon all of us, including those in the diaspora, to harness our collective will, our knowledge, our skills and resources for the good of our motherland, Zimbabwe. We all have an obligation to build a society that is inclusive, which is just, equitable, and prosperous. Under the National Development Strategy 2, which rolls out in the new year, Vision 2030 and the Zimbabwe we all want must become a reality. In our individual and collective capacities, let us all remain vigilant as we consolidate our unity, our peace, and social cohesion.
In all the festivities of the season, President Mnangagwa urged Zimbabweans to be responsible on the roads, while also calling for more efforts in fighting drug and substance abuse.
Together, let us take the necessary responsibility to guarantee safety on our roads, to curb injuries, loss of lives, as well as damage to infrastructure and property. Similarly, the ongoing fight against drug and substance abuse, which is ravaging the future of our communities, must be scaled up, more so during this festive period. The rains are now upon us. Let us diligently work our God-given land to guarantee household national food security. Meanwhile, all communities are encouraged to be alive to the dangers associated with the wet season, such as flash floods, drowning, and the traffic accidents. We must maintain caution in periods of high rainfall. The Civil Protection Unity is on high alert.
The country is currently receiving rains, and President Mnangagwa has rallied Zimbabweans to diligently work on their land to guarantee household and national food security. Josephine Mugio, ZBC News, Harare.
Travelers and tourists have hailed the efficiency at various ports of entry to the country, demonstrating government's commitment to building systems that promote tourism growth. The report from Providence Maranelli.
In this modern world, a visit or an adventure to any scenic and tourist place would not be considered as such without some snaps and selfies and how they are welcomed. A sight of travelers jostling to take pictures clad in national print saying the popular words Zimbo at Plumtree Border Post and Joshua Nkomo International Airport spells the excitement and enthusiasm by tourists and visitors coming into the country for the Christmas holiday.
I enjoy and I'm proud of my country.
I was pleasantly surprised to be welcomed by the Minister of Tourism, and what really blew my heart away was when they welcomed us with a cold water. Zimbabwe is beautiful.
Actually, I went to Christian Brothers College in Bulawayo, many years ago. And in the years since, I've been fortunate to travel the world, and this is still the most welcoming country in the world.
The Minister of Tourism and Hospitality Industry, Honorable Barbara Rodzi, was in Plumtree this Tuesday to welcome travelers and visitors, reiterated government stance on efficiency to promote domestic tourism.
We've been to Plumtree early in the morning and witnessed a number of visitors coming into the country, happy visitors who are more of our diaspora citizens, and we are welcoming them, just telling them that we love them. We come to just add on manpower to what is already being done by Home Affairs. The tourism sector in our country has been receiving awards, international awards. For example, the Forbes magazine international awards of a must-visit destination in 2025. We are actually very grateful. It's an indicator that the world is now awakened and to know that Zimbabwe is a great destination again.
The Second Republic is on a massive drive to transform the tourism sector, with the driving ministry coming up with various campaigns like Simbo, Uripi Ungapi and Meet Me in Zimbabwe, among others, to promote domestic tourism. Providence Maranelli, ZBC News, Plumtree.
Well, a lot of excitement ahead of Christmas Day. Tomorrow it is Christmas Eve. There's a lot that is taking place right across the country. But of course, there's also the increase in awareness campaigns for people to be responsible.
The festive mood is already taking shape at Mpandawana Broad Point in Gutu as residents shop, socialize and usher in Christmas celebrations. But as excitement builds, concerns over excessive alcohol and substance abuse have also come to the fore. To curb rising cases of intoxication, the National Committee on Drug and Substance Abuse has taken its awareness campaign directly to the community through a roadshow and roadblock messaging.
As you can see, there are breathalyzers there. Those that will be found to be intoxicated with drugs will be referred to our law enforcement agencies. Again, those that require our services, again, we want them to be treated and to get rehabilitation. We have selected rehabilitation centers across the country where these people can go and access services. And again, those that are found to be, abusing drugs, we don't leave them like that. After treatment, they get psychosocial support and reintegrated back into the society.
Using music, dance and direct engagement, the campaign targets festive hotspots to spread messages on responsible behavior, safety and healthy living. Wellington Makonese, ZBC News, Gutu.
Right, festivities there and people looking forward to Christmas, but there is a dark cloud, of course, across the country as people are still trying to get to grips with what exactly is taking place in Guruve. This is the site of murders that have hogged the limelight and the headlines over the last number of days. We know that, this is a reported number that 12 people have been murdered, the most recent having been a mother and her daughter. We dispatched our diplomatic correspondent Josephine Mugio to go and investigate what exactly has been taking place and to speak to some locals to just get a sense of what exactly is taking place in Guruve.
In the light of day, all seems well here in these villages in Guruve. But this is a community gripped by fear. There has been a recent spate of murder cases that are yet to be resolved. The community here is desperate for answers. Their lives have been turned around. Night time is when they are supposed to rest, but as soon as night falls, fear grips the villagers. They are not sure just how safe they are, and they wonder, who's next? With the recent spate of murders in Guruve, the ZBC visited the area to assess the situation and the general sentiments of the villagers in the affected communities. The activity at Guruve Growth Point masks the fear gripping the masses. Even though people are going about their activities, there are whispers about the spate of murders. As we continue to visit different areas in Guruve, we notice that there is a heavy presence of security personnel. We speak to a number of villagers, but none is willing to speak in front of the cameras due to fear of being traced by this suspected murderer. While at Mudindo Growth Point, we get wind that 2 more people were killed on Monday evening. We are making our way there just to find out what really is going on in this area. So as we continue to drive down to Magaya village, we notice that the houses here are actually sparsely populated. And also when we spoke to some of the people at the growth point, they are saying this murderer seems to target homesteads that have women. He seems to target homesteads where there are no men. He's targeting the women. He knows that once he gets there, that's easy prey for him. We continue along the way. We have met up with one of the villagers who is going to show us where the homestead is, and we're just going to talk to him, his sentiments on what is going on. Baba, imimi mungati chichi lukitika kumu.
Maona tukita vana kureka kurerekera kuvanhukadzi nevana vechidiki, vanhukadzi nevana vechidiki vanenge vachitemera pavanenge vachiziva kuti pane murume hapo, ende tiri kufungidzira kuti pane vana vedu renharaunda vanenge vachipa information kuna vanhu vavo kuti apa pane munhu akadai, pane chirikadzi.
Vachizviitira izvozvo vanowanei ipapo?
Seipapa pane gosa ranga ratengwa nomukadzi aita zvemukando izvozvo, saka vakasvika vakati tiri kuda pemari zanzatina. Takatanga kusvika vakapa nekamwana kadiki ndokatanga kuona munhu pane munhu pawindo
munhu
ya iye mataura kuti mwana aripo, mwana wacho akasara. Zvakanzoka tichedzera tikupfura vapinda vanhu vawanda pasi pemubhedha vakararama nesisi vacho vakati form 3. Saka paakapinda vanoziva kamwana katataura kukawanda pasi pemubhedha.
Upon arrival in Bosha village, we do confirm that 2 more people have been murdered. Their names, Alice Saujati Matora, aged 40, and her 16-year-old daughter, Shalom Malonga. The other 12-year-old girl escaped by hiding under the bed. Having arrived in Bosha village in Guruve, we have been told that 2 people were killed last night, a mother and a daughter. According to narrations from the village headman as well as a neighbor, it is believed that he made them drink poison, after which he raped them. We are still trying to gather more detail, but also from information that we're receiving here at this homestead, there is a list that was found on an ox-drawn cart, and the list is alleged to have 100 names, women and children. And from what the villagers are saying, the 2 that were killed here last night are on that list, which is believed to be now in police custody. A neighbor to the deceased, Tracy Chafera, is still struggling to come to terms with the death of the mother and daughter, whom she had seen the previous day.
Gogo uyaimone zvaita mama, gogo uyaimone mama vachandipindura kuma 6 ndokubva ndobva ndangobuda ndichimhanya nevana ndokupinda ndaona makaita rima ndokutuma mwana tochikumba ndokavheninga kudai kubata mai vacho ndikati vabatopera ndokunobata mwana ndanzwa ari kudziya. Chichaitika zvikanzi tapindirwa nomunhu usiku. Munhu uya ana kuita zvokucheka, munhu uya aita zvokunwisa mushonga, poison, mushonga unenge wekupisisa sora, nokuti makapu yanga achigadzirisa nawo mushonga, imwe yacho ndatoikanda, imwe yatakurwa nemapurisa. Ndokubva ndangobuda ndichimhanya ndokunededzera mai vepapa nokudaidza kumba kwavaishanda kwacho nosuru. Murume wacho achibva uya namai vepapa ndokuya zvakare tichimhanya. Ndobva vasvika ndokutarisa, saka murume uya asongoti muchasabati chiregerai. Ndobva tatuma vana kwasabuku ndobva uya wakati musabati. Ndobva tasiya zvakadaro. Bvunzurudza mwana yari kuti munhu akauya akavhura nedhoo rekuseri, dhoo raakasairira. Ndokubva apinda svika ndokuda mari. Ava ndobva kuti ndine $5 kana zvichiita tora zvako girosari. svika andobva abudisa zvinhu mukadhibhokisi rosarire mukando ravanga vapanana ndobva adzosera timaona kwakutora mushonga kwakugadzira kwakutanga kupa musikana kwakuzobata amai kuenda nawo kusipeya kwevana ndokunovapa mushonga uyu mudiki yanga apinda pasi pembeta panotori nerisi yavari kunzi vakanyora yavari kuda vanhu vavada kuuraya saka dai ndisina kubuda pamwe asvika kwakaona kwakakiyiwa ndopaasita se paasoya kuno vanayo vamwe baba vatoenda kunopa mapurisa anzi vakaona yakanamirirwa pangoro yanga yakafa pasango ine mazita ekuti vanofanira kufa vanhu ivava ava vanga vatori anzi ndo vanga vatori pamusoro.
From information gathered, the killer is targeting women and children.
Isu sema chirikadzi tirikugara tisina varume mudzimba takutotya nokuti pese parikunzi paitika chiitiko ichi mudzimai nevana vari kuurayiwa.
Bosha village head Ephraim Chisango is distressed with the situation in the area. He fears more people will die if this person is not caught soon.
Chiitiko chinosuwisa nokuti katarisa pano patiri pafama ine mwana varatidza kuti vanhu ava vanwiswa poison ndokubva vazodzipwa nokuti mwana taona mutsipa make muine bandi reblack kureva kuti vatomudzipa. Mwana achitsanangura uya akanti asara wacho awanda pasi pemubhedha anoti iye vatanga varepwa ndokuzouraya. Saka kureva kuti hatisi kuziva kuti chinangwa chekuita izvi chinangwa chipi uye kuti hatichagutsikana kuti munhu yangave mumwe chete here uye ndeve kure here nokuti anototageta misha isina varume yacho.
The prime suspect in all these murders is Mvurwi.
So as we leave Bosha village, there is a heavy security presence. We came across members of the Zimbabwe National Army as well as police details. The villagers are hoping that sooner rather than later, whoever this person is or people, they are not sure if it's one person or there are quite a number of people doing this operation. Their hope and their cry is that they are caught and brought to book as soon as possible. Josephine Mugio, CBC News, Bosha Village, Guruve.
And still on this very disturbing case, the Zimbabwe Republic Police has beefed up a deployment in Guruve district. A diplomatic correspondent speaks to ZRP National Spokesperson, Commissioner Paul Nyati.
Having visited Guruve, we are now back in Harare, and we just want to confirm some of the issues that were raised by villagers, particularly in Bosha village, where 2 more people were killed. I am now joined by the National Police Spokesperson, Commissioner Paul Nyati, just to shed more light, and probably there are a lot of theories that were circulating as well on the ground. We just want him to clarify some of those issues.
I want to assure Zimbabweans that the Zimbabwe Republic Police has made comprehensive deployments in Guruve to look for the suspect, Mvurwi. And we are also going beyond Mvurwi with a view of finding out if there are any other suspects who might be involved in these brutal killings. And as we speak, we have a deployment of police officers, we have a deployment of security services, which is conducting patrols, which is conducting surveillance, which is conducting stop and search in order to make sure that we arrest the suspect who has been identified now. We are also working closely with the community. We talk of the church, we talk of traditional leaders, and we are currently mobilizing all the necessary resources. The Commissioner General of Police is consulted widely, where you find that we have put in place some strategies we cannot review at the moment, to make sure that we leave no stone unturned with a view of arresting this suspect. So it also includes the safety of the villagers, where we are now even mobilizing the people in Guruve to sleep in groups, whether they are males, whether they are females, so that we safeguard lives. We are fully aware of this list, which was allegedly found pinned on a Scotch card, where there is some names of 100 women, some names of 50 girls, and we are currently looking at the veracity of this list. Now that the allegations that some of the people on the list are targeted, some of the people on the list were killed. So this is what is obtaining on the ground.
Commissioner Paul Nyati, the national spokesperson for the police, telling us more about the situation in Guruve, reassuring the people there that the security services are there in full force, and he is also saying that anybody who is caught assisting this killer will definitely be dealt with.
It's Josephine Mugio there, our diplomatic correspondent who's closely following events in Guruve. More details emerging there from that story. And just to indicate that we'll continuously update you on what is taking place, we now know that the police have heavily deployed in Guruve. We've also seen images there of members of the Zimbabwe National Army armed to the teeth, as you can see, in trying to look around for the suspect. And we know that the police are also looking for the suspect whose name is Mvurwi, and various strategies have been put in place to ensure that he is caught, or any other people that he might be working with are caught. So we will definitely be updating you on any latest development that we get with regards to what is taking place in Guruve. Elsewhere, the massive national development and empowerment strides being realized countrywide have become the rallying point for more support towards the extension of President Emmerson Mnangagwa's leadership to go beyond 2028.
The unprecedented levels of development being realized under the leadership of President Mnangagwa, who is also championing empowerment programs across the country, has become the rallying point upon which Zimbabweans are amplifying calls for the extension of his term in office to beyond 2028. ZANU-PF Central Committee member Dr. Jennifer Muswele, who is also the Minister of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, attended a presidential constituency empowerment fund rally in Rusape, where he outlined some of the successes recorded under the Second Republic in Manicaland, clarifying that there is nothing unconstitutional in amending the national constitution to extend President Mnangagwa's term of office.
My irrigation scheme aitwa kuno akawanda zvikurusa, madhamu awakwa akawanda zvakare, anosanganisira muchekeranwa dam, anosanganisira marovanyati dam, anosanganisira zvakare ma irrigation scheme ari kuRomsley, ari kuTikwiri nedzimwe nzvimbo dzakasiyana siyana dzinosanganisira kuChipinge, zvakare kwaMutasa. Aya mabasa aita kuti utungamiriri hweZANU-PF nemi mese muti baba Mnangagwa ngavaende mberi, ngavarambe vachitonga. Ndasimuka zvakare kuti ndisimbaradze kuti there is nothing unconstitutional about amending a constitution. Constitution yakagadzirwa nevanhu, aiwa isa yeti mudenga kana uchifarira mashoko amendwa zvakare nevanhu. Ndiko kusaka vanhu vese muZimbabwe kusanganisira kuno kumakoni mati baba Mnangagwa ngavarambe vachitungamirira.
Manicaland Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Advocate Meshek Mugadza, added his voice on the Second Republic development strides.
Muno mumakoni tine ma irrigation emhando yepamusoro, the first one Romsley, asi tinaona Nzvimbe, Jairo, Nyahukwe nedzimwe dzakatenderedza muno zvatiri kudada nazvo.
Vanhu vakapatsurana havawani empowerment, vanhu vakabatana vanowana empowerment.
Meanwhile, disbursement of the Presidential Constituency Empowerment Fund has breathed new life in the implementation of empowerment programs, with legislators and local leadership in Mtasa and Makoni expressing confidence that the funds will contribute towards accelerated development.
Empowerment fund yatawana nhasi inoti it's an oil inoisa kuti zvedu zvive nyore zvifambe zvakanaka.
Iri kupa opportunity to everyone. This is going to go a long way for us as a constituency to achieve sustainable development goals.
Semakoni Central takwanisa kupiwa 100 balls tikapiwa 25,000 yekuti tishandise ku community development.
The Empowerment Fund is being ring-fenced from abuse to benefit more people, with a task force being formed to assess transparency in the distribution process.
President varangarira makomo vakati handei tinoita something mamakomo. President vakaparura chirongwa, president hakamira kuparura zvirongwa, vakaparura zvirongwa zvakasiyana siyana, vakaparura ma-empowerments kuma-affiliates atakutanga kutera, vakaparura ma-empowerments ku-Women's League, vakaparura ma-empowerments kuma-all veterans, vakaparura ma-empowerments kuma-youth. Ndonga tabvumirana nemukuru wenyika kuti iko zvino 2026 empowerment inobva musoro ichikwidza kudenga.
In a show of confidence on the leadership of President Mnangagwa, former Citizens Coalition for Change CCC legislator Pishai Mchauraya, together with the serving opposition councillor in Makoni Teddy Chipere, as well as former CCC councillors, joined the ruling party at the Grand Empowerment event held in Rusape. Meanwhile, construction of ruling party offices have started in Mtasa district, with Makoni district also embarking on a similar exercise. Kenya's Chifuje, ZBC News, Makoni.
Now, access to water through solar-powered infrastructure has helped communities in the Mvurwi area of Binga district to adapt to climate shocks, expand agricultural projects for household consumption, and trading the surplus.
Established in 2023 under the government's Climate Adaptation Water and Energy Program, Saba Irrigation Scheme in Mvurwi has brought a major shift in agricultural production, with most families benefiting immensely from the 20-hectare initiative. The beneficiaries are now able to farm all year round in the dry region, hence improving food security for dozens of households.
Besimukuza kwe project eyi no tokajana ikulumba anjiyo kamba kuti wakaziba malimino akuti chipopwe chilimwayi chindi pawo chibikwa musamu uli byene kuti chikomene kuti tu bakutebana ikwalino tuli kulya sibili
ifish point tilalyanswi oko kwekilendi manzi temwe anino vantu vaikupirira kuteka manzi madhamu akaramana zibrani zamana so vaikuteka kwekilendi so lino so wekilendi rayo yava hobo manzi ainga kudhamu vantu vazura manzi muzibhorani irugeshini tiri kunoneze.
Chief Saba highlighted the impact of the project in promoting local development.
Ansinga tule sesuyu farming equipment ilawa ya kuti tesi tuli kumbira byagwe obunyengerezi yakuli bamwe ngautegwa tuli kulima oboto in time nitunga twakabira nitunga tuli nyampukide market tate penzipe.
The Climate Adaptation Water and Energy Program is part of government's broader strategy to enhance climate resilience, food security, and sustainable livelihoods in climate-vulnerable districts such as Binga. With support from the Global Environment Facility Small Grants Program in Zimbabwe, implemented by the United Nations Development Program, government has made significant strides in supporting community-based initiatives such as livestock production and aquaculture, among others. Memory Chamisa, ZBC News.
Mvurwi town in Mashonaland Central Province is eyeing growth by harnessing its agricultural potential and fast-tracking infrastructure development in line with the recently launched National Development Strategy 2.
Once famed for its agricultural output, particularly tobacco and maize, Mvurwi in Mashonaland Central Province is repositioning itself as a strategic development hub by leveraging its farming strength and embracing infrastructure-led transformation to drive sustainable economic growth. An investment promotion symposium held in the town this Tuesday saw stakeholders highlighting the need to tap into Mvurwi's proximity to Harare, fertile soils and growing population to boost economic growth.
We can go into agro-processing since already it's known as it's a farming town. Mvurwi is a farming town. We can tap into agro-processing.
For Mvurwi to benefit from all these farming activities, they need to be value addition industries. I'll give you an example. Tobacco. There should be industries here which make cigarettes from that tobacco in Mvurwi.
Mvurwi is a fast-growing town and it's very progressive. We are currently in a field where there's a lot of tobacco farming. There's a lot of crop mining.
Organizers of the event expressed the confidence that with the government's support, the town is set for significant transformation.
We are looking at Vision 2030, where we have to move up to an upper middle income society by 2030. And so we saw it prudent that we must make sure that the community that we have that are doing businesses in Mvurwi also understand what is it that is supposed to be done for us to reach the upper middle income society through them as business community.
National and Central Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Honorable Christopher Magomo, says infrastructure development remains a top priority under the Second Republic.
Isu hatisi kuzomira tiri kufamba neNational Development Strategy 2 yakalonjwa naPresident wedu chibuda in this one. Muchitarisa kuti tine nyaya infrastructure, maroads edu. Tino mugwagwa unobva kuHarare uchinanga ukanyemba ndiwo wamaona uri kuitwa dualized.
Government is already implementing several initiatives in the province, with the ongoing upgrade of the Harare-Kanyemba road expected to be a key contributor to the region's development. Peter Chivima, ZBC News, Mvurwi.
Now, for more news, do log on to our website. That is www.zbcnews.co.zw. You can also visit our X handle, that is at ZBC News Online, our Facebook page, ZBC News.
And you can also find all the details of the stories that we're covering on those digital platforms, including the big story that we are chasing, of course, that of the Guruve murders. There are stories to expect in this bulletin, and this is what you can look forward to after the break.
Incessant rains threaten to derail festives in Matabeleland, South Province.
And later on, when we look at your sport, Knowledge Msona, Sean Fusire and Divine Lunga return to food trading ahead of the Warriors' Friday Africa Cup of Nations fixture against Angola. Be sure to join us for that and a whole lot more when we come back.
Welcome back and thank you for staying tuned. You're still watching the main news. Now, Zimbabwe's HIV and AIDS response faced an unexpected test in 2025 after sudden funding cuts by the United States government threatened programs supported through USAID and PEPFAR. Despite the shock, authorities say the country managed to avert major disruptions to life-saving treatment and laboratory services while accelerating plans to locally finance and restructure the national HIV response. Our National AIDS Council Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Bernard Madzima, reflects on the year and outlines priorities going into 2026.
The cut in funding resulted in a lot of things. It impacted on the supply of ARVs and laboratory commodities. It also impacted on human resources because the programs used to support a lot of health workers in terms of their salaries, in terms of their remuneration. So when January started, in as much as we anticipated funding cut levels over a period of about 4 to 5 years until 2030 became abrupt, and there was a lot of uncertainty in the sector. So as a National AIDS Council, together with Minister of Health and Childcare, we had to quickly assess the situation and make sure that we identify the gaps which were there and address them using local resources. As we approach 2026, we are developing the new strategic plan, the Zimbabwe National AIDS Strategic Plan 5, which will cover the period 2026 to 2030. And that strategic plan really is trying to address the current reality. We have said let's look at alternative funding, because the key issue really is funding if we are going to achieve the 2030 targets of ending AIDS as a public health threat. So we have mobilized the policymakers, the leaders, our own ministry to ensure that the HIV AIDS program is funded locally. But also we want to ensure that it's integrated into the health service delivery system so that it doesn't operate as a silo.
Madzima, the CEO of the National AIDS Council on Zimbabwe's HIV response in the wake of a number of events that took place during the course of the year. And we should be crossing over to our Montrose studios now for the remainder of the bulletin. But just to let you know as well that after this bulletin, we'll be giving you live coverage of the match between Ivory Coast and Mozambique at the Africa Cup of Nations.
Yes, we now leave you in the hands of Memory Ngoyendlovu.
Thank you very much to you, Butler and Irene. Good evening to the viewers. We move on with the bulletin. 2 new schools in Kwekwe's Mbizo suburb are nearing completion, with the community excited about the development, which will reduce the school's backlog in the area. Midlands Bureau Chief Tafara Chikumira was in Kwekwe and filed this report.
Over $2 million United States dollars has been invested in the construction of a primary and secondary school in Mbizo constituency. The schools, whose construction began some 6 months ago, further solidify President Emerson Mnangagwa's inclusive development mantra, nyika inovakwa nevene vayo, ilizwe lakiwa ngabanikazi valo. Locals have begun to enjoy some spin-off benefits through getting employment, while others are looking forward to seeing their children accessing education facilities at their doorsteps.
Itabatsirika zvikuru because vanhu vazhinji vanga vasinapo basa rokuita, but right now tine ma-carpenters, ma-painters, ma-builders, ma-plumbers, nema-electrician vese vawana basa.
Vana vedu vaingoenda kunana Ruvimbo, vana eMtonjeni, ndo zvikoro zvakatikomberedza asi zvakataramuka. Ichi chino ichi chauya pedyo.
Over 70 workers are working on this project, and vana surrounding Mbizo, they have benefited.
Government is equally impressed by the level of development being experienced across the country.
The school has come to Mbizo, where a lot of people reside. As you are aware, the population of Mbizo is now more than 250,000. 50,000. So we thank the Second Republic for its initiatives of infrastructural development.
Since the inception of the Second Republic, the country has been witnessing some unprecedented infrastructure development under the National Development Strategy Economic Blueprint. Tafara Chukumira, ZBC News, Kwekwe.
With just a day to go before Christmas Day, the festive cheer was felt across the city of Bulawayo this Wednesday as people were busy with the last-minute Christmas shopping.
It is the eve of Christmas and the streets of Bulawayo are buzzing. Not even the rains could deter people from doing their last-minute preparations for Christmas Day. Time immemorial Christmas Eve has proved to be a day when people jostly for last-minute groceries to prepare special Christmas meals that foster a sense of togetherness.
Amalungiselelo nahlangana ilanga leChristmas kahle kahle ukuhlanganisa umndeni siyahlangana siwumndeni sikholise
andabona khathesi abantwana babuyile ngilabo khona abahlala eGoli so sebengithengela igrosari
sesithengile ukuthi bake bayikholisa ilanga lonelo lilodwa njengoba kwathiwa ikhisimusi eqeda amadola.
In all the bustle and anticipation for Christmas, the children enjoy Christmas spirit through the treats they receive from Santa.
Ngithanda ukuthi yathanda usithengela impahla yenza ama-funnies.
With Christmas being a time of giving, Santa plays a big role in encouraging and fostering that spirit in children.
You know, for the children, as you can see, this is always a big occasion, you know, Christmas, you know, taking pictures with Father Christmas.
The magical moments enjoyed by children with Santa are captured on camera by photographers, proving to be a busy Christmas Eve for them as well. The city center is adorned with Christmas trees, lights, decorations, and treats as part of the build-up to Christmas Day. Lisa Korira, ZBC News, Bulawayo.
The incessant rains are being received in Matebele and South Province have become a homecoming nightmare for diasporans returning home for Christmas festives.
The incessant rains that have been pounding in most parts of Matebele and South are threatening to derail Christmas plans for many, with men now taking risks crossing flooded rivers.
Okay.
So
la selithola umfula ke.
Sase sithola umfula ugcwele imoto azitha zithaphi. Inkobe sesiqansa phezulu. Isithiya abantwana leso awuvumi vele abantwana bayebefuna isigqoko zekisimusi.
Amancane akula risk lapha amanzi asemancane la. Njalo vele abantwana balambile bakhangelela ukuthi abo bayabuya.
While the rains are welcome for agriculture purposes, it is proving difficult for diasporans.
Besibuya for iholiday kungathi sesizayidlalela khona. Thela lamagrozala abadala leyabona kugcwele trailer so asikwazi ukuthi abadala amabhanzi bazapheka njani. Siyasineviki yonke sendleleni.
While authorities have been warning the public against crossing flooded rivers, maybe it is because of the Christmas plans that they have and they think the risk is worth it. This comes after 4 Bulilima villagers are reported to be marooned between split rivers in Tekwane after crossing the swelling Tekwane River. Another man identified as Busiso Ndlovu, a male adult aged 23 of Umzingwane, drowned in Umzingwane River. In another incident, Sidney Dube of Esigodini tried to cross Badi River and was swept away. In Kwanda South, Precious Dube was swept away after they tried to cross the flooded Tuli River. Whatever the plans are for the Christmas, the risk is not worth it. The message is clear from the authorities that people should not cross flooded rivers. Providence Maranelli, ZBC News, Gwanda.
May News takes a short break. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Main News. Thank you very much for staying with us. In business news, the last-minute shopping spree on Christmas Eve has increased the sales of retailers driven by price stability and fully stocked shelves.
The situation here is showing that consumers are smiling all the way in terms of spending, thanks to the stable economic conditions ahead of the Christmas day.
We can budget. When we go with a list of what we want, we know that it's going to be that price. And we know for a pensioner that we're going to get a discount on a certain day.
Availability of products iri nani zvinhu zviri kutengeka isusu tatotenga zvekukwidza ndege kutokwira ndege kuenda kunotambira hedu out.
People can plan and budget and they can come and buy, and I think that has kind of safeguarded Christmas till this time.
It is, however, the retailers that are also reaping the rewards of increased sales ahead of the Christmas day.
We appreciate the stability which is in the country, which has actually brought in more spending power to the customers, and you can witness in our store right now people are shopping, people are enjoying, so we appreciate the effort that are coming from the government.
The stage is now set for this year's festival season as consumers are really enjoying shopping as a result of increased availability of goods as well as stable prices in a move that is expected to further spur cheers during the festival season. Stanley James, ZBC News, Harare.
Main News takes a short break. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back to Main News. We go straight to our sports news. The Warriors have received a major boost ahead of their next AFCON 2025 Group B match against Angola after Knowledge Masona, Sean Fusire and Divine Lunga returned to full training ahead of the Friday fixture.
The trio missed the Warriors' opening match, which Zimbabwe lost to Egypt after picking up knocks. However, they all took part in a high-intensity 2-hour training session held in Marrakesh this Wednesday as preparations intensified for the crucial Boxing Day clash against Angola. Almost the entire squad was involved, with the only absentee being Denmark-based defender Manasseh Ganananga, who set out the session after suffering a dead leg. In a statement, ZIFA confirmed that the defender is under medical observation. Zimbabwe will be looking to bounce back against Angola on Fridays. They seek to keep their AFCON 2025 hopes alive. The Warriors are targeting to go past the group stages for the first time.
And that's all we had for you for tonight's main news. From myself, Memory Nkwendlovu, the crew at Pocket Studios, that is Irene, together with Butler, not forgetting Dombo Mauga on Sign Language Desk. Good evening.